Very fun episode of the Mish and Zach Podcast this week. We are joined by very special guest Lena Moon, and we are also going to be talking about so many things like Big Brother Australia, like The Pit, like South Park, and like Pretty in Pink's weirdest plot point. All that and more coming up after this little bit of music. Mish and Zach.
Welcome to the Mish and Zach Podcast. I'm Mish, Zach's here, Tom's here too, and we've got a special guest. It's Lena Moon.
Hello.
Hello, Lena.
Hello.
If you listened last week to Leguizamo Rama, you already knew that she was here.
Yeah.
That's right. Lena emerged in the house in a shock twist.
Yeah, shock.
In the
twist.
house.
We were...
It was a shock twist last week.
Shocked was to find out you in a house.
Yeah, this is where it is.
Oh, sorry. I didn't.
This is where Zach and I live.
I didn't catch up on the new meta. My apologies.
Yeah, Zach and I live in this house.
Okay.
I thought you were doing a Big Brother bit.
Yeah.
I was doing
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
I was doing like a you introduce someone in the last act kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
An
and then-
intruder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're an intruder late on Sunday night.
Yeah. It just-
Intruders arrived.
And
Literally
one of us
just
is going home, and it's always the intruder because
Always.
they're like, she's
no one
new,
cares
we hate
about
her.
them yet. Just to literally today, saw a clip from Big Brother season 4, maybe. Don't ask me how I fucking fell into that clip, but it was just a clip, like 15 seconds, and it was one of those really awkward. It was just so awkward. It was night, so it was night vision. They were in bed. This guy turns to his mate and goes, "Fuck, man, tomorrow, I swear to God, if fucking Daniel follows me around all day again, I'm gonna fucking crack it." And this guy's really close. The guy just goes, "What are you talking? Dude, I'm Daniel." And the guy goes, "Oh, fuck." And that was the end of the clip. I'm like, what? They were so close to each other. Like, really. His face was right here. He goes, "If fucking Daniel follows me, that dumb cunt. I hate that cunt."
I swear to God, if I come within an inch of Daniel, I will murder Daniel.
I'm going to fucking kill Daniel.
Oh, I'm Daniel. Oh,
Oh, no, fuck. It was just, sorry, that just reminded me. That was really funny.
Me and Cole and Phil, my old housemates, the Wawalissa guys, we used to live together, and we watched all of the first season of Big Brother on YouTube because Phil hadn't experienced it. And so we watched it. Him and Cole were watching, and I joined in. And there's a few moments that you like, the moments that you really forget and wish that you brought with you. Like at one point, Greta was walking down the runway, and one of the girls she was walking with, like, they kind of tripped up on it. Like Gretel kind of tripped up on it. She was like, "That was you." It's just like this.
But that was when TV was amazing, because it's not like they clipped stuff and then that stuff went viral.
Yeah.
It was, you had to have caught it in the moment.
Exactly.
And then there was always, and then there wasn't time to process it. You saw
No.
it once, and then you're like, "Did that?" And then it's
Yeah,
done.
Yeah.
exactly. But I
Do you
think
rem-
also, like, I think she was going for a joke, like, "Haha, you're trying to trip me up," but it came off as really like the nation is watching.
Yeah, and you just saw me fall. I just remember from Big Brother season 1, Australia, which, by the way, was a phenomenal season of
Absolutely
television.
stunning television.
I was obsessed with Big Brother season 1. Do you remember Angie,
yeah,
who was voted? I mean, you watched it recently. So
Don't
good.
you think that it's strange
Oh, so strange.
that Big Brother is watching?
He's watching you. It's so good.
Yeah,
oh, I know.
solid stuff.
Anyway, Angie was the first person voted off, right? And everyone was like, "Whoa, she's full on."
Wasn't she the one that everyone was like the dominatrix?
Yes,
That's the one who trips Gretel.
Oh, great.
Even though she did not trip Gretel.
So she's just this like gorgeous 6 foot tall redhead.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm a dominatrix. That's my job." And everyone's like, "Whoa, she's so full on." And to be fair, she brought an entire suitcase of dildos into the bed.
Wasn't she from St.
Do you
Kilda?
remember her?
No,
Yeah, I mean, she really, like, it was very much like, you know how, like, in a children's book, like, people are defined by their jobs by, like, an item. So, like, a chef has a spatula,
Yeah.
or, like, a gardener has a rake. Hers was like, "I've got a bag of dildos, and a
Full-blown
whip,
carry-on
and like, a
suitcase.
zip mask, and, like, yeah.
Yeah, and she
was
brought
like,
them all in. And then she tied up Gordon
Yeah.
and whipped him and then got voted out.
I remember that.
You remember Gordon with the hair? He had the little
Oh, God,
spiky
the
patch.
one from St. Kilda that I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
He got whipped.
Yeah, he got
I do
whipped.
remember that.
Yeah, and then she got voted off so quick. But imagine if she just stayed on. She'd be iconic. She'd be Sarah Marie. She would be Sarah Marie.
Australia wasn't and
We're
isn't
British.
ready for sex.
Yeah, the bum dance was as close as we got to any kind of before they went full Big Brother Up Late.
But even Big Brother Up Late, it's showers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you remember
We'll
that
go to
season?
voyeurism, that's it.
Yeah,
There was that
No
season.
penetration.
Yeah.
Well, no, because
no,
up-
he turkey slapped her. That guy turkey slapped
But that
her.
never happened on Up Late.
Yeah.
This is important Big Brother law.
Yeah.
So for the international listeners and anyone under
I
most
guess
ages,
30.
Big Brother used to have a show called Big Brother Up Late where people would, where you got to watch them having showers.
Softcore.
Yeah, just literally getting dressed and stuff.
Yeah, they'd be putting on their pants.
They'd
It's
blur
hot
the
as.
nips, but you'd see a lot.
You saw every.
Most of Up Late was just people getting changed.
But also
It's like,
Gretel.
now we're looking at Gemma, and Gemma
But it was
is
also-
changing into a summer dress.
Gretel
It's just
would
Gemma
host-
taking off all of her clothes and putting on
Yeah.
a dress. It's like, nice.
A sneaky snuggle happened last night, and there's just two people on the couch being like, "What are you gonna eat for lunch?" They're like saucy chats about sauce on pasta.
And then, like, one season, they're like, they're going to have to shower outside.
Yeah.
And,
Because they got
but,
sick of the screens.
but what happened was there was
too
also a
hard to
live
shoot.
stream very early days of internet. Australian internet still couldn't handle this, but back then really couldn't handle it. And it was the live stream. So two guys did a prank on a girl where they woke her up or in her sleep, they slapped her with their balls.
It was a turkey slap. Yeah.
Turkey slap. And
The turkey slap heard across the country.
nation,
yeah. Now, and it was because of that, it was such a scandal that John Howard even commented on
take
it.
this silly program off the air.
It was such a scandal that Big Brother Up Late got canned. But it was never shown on Big Brother Up Late. It was only ever on the live stream. And I think I read somewhere that they think maybe 14 people at most were watching.
So these
Across
14
the
people,
nation.
these 14 people
We're like,
just
"Oh
sitting
my
there
God."
at 3 a.m. eating cheesels.
Two of them are asleep.
What's going on? One of them's in fucking Netherlands. The
One
other
of them is jerking
yeah,
off.
absolutely.
Two of them.
Just see these two men hit this woman with their dick, and then it created this absolute wave across the country.
In
And it
fairness, it was
raged.
pretty fucked, didn't they?
Oh, it's fucking a full-on
this is-
thing to
yeah.
do.
Right. This was not. Some of the controversy was around that, but most of the controversy was not around her and her consent because she, I believe, didn't push the matter. She was like, "I'd rather we just left it."
Right.
It was the issue was the balls. This is the very Australian thing. To have something very wrong, you shouldn't slap a lady with your balls, boys. Listen here, I'm telling you unequivocally that's a bad thing to do, unless she wants you to.
Yeah. And in which case, go for it.
If you're comfortable.
If you're comfortable. Just because she wants you to doesn't mean you have to.
Consent goes both ways.
Consent goes both ways.
But if she wants you to slap her with the balls, you gotta give it a go. You never know.
It sounds really painful. It sounds like a bad
Give it a go,
experience
see
for
what happens.
everybody.
You never know. Anyway, my point is, the controversy was not around her. As if Australia would give a shit about.
That's
it was,
a woman, you're right.
Yeah, it was about just the balls.
Yeah.
Wild. But
Wild.
but then do you remember the season where they only cast single people?
Yes.
So it's when they just wanted everyone to be fucking because they will realize there was money in the fucking. So they only cast single people. They put 18 people or some shit into this house, single people. And on the first night, they all got shit-faced, and one of them goes, "I've got a boyfriend," like to one of the other people goes, "I lied. I actually have a boyfriend. We've been seeing each other for 3 months." And she got kicked off for being in a relationship. They were like, "That is not on. You're not
breach of
fucking
contract."
anyone in here." And they kicked her out.
Did anyone ever fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think under
Not
the
on
covers.
Oz, right?
Sorry?
Not in Australia,
I'm not
did
sure.
Let me look it
I
up.
mean, yeah,
Because I
that's worth a
remember,
Google.
yeah, overseas, hearing a lot about the UK is just fucking.
Yeah,
I
there
feel
was
like
a
the
lot
Aussies
of like
didn't.
under. I think there might have been a wristy.
Yes.
Oh, a lot of the Dancing
seem to remember
Doona.
Arista.
That was
Yeah.
Peter and Christina in season
Yeah.
1. I
Yeah.
remember.
Dancing Doona. I remember that. Wow.
It's such a wild, like, I think the most interesting thing about season 1 is that there wasn't as much media training. It was sort of like people legitimately seemed to forget that there were cameras on them. And I think, like, the meta obviously grew across the years, but I feel like at the beginning it truly was like, that they forgot, and so they would do wristies and stuff. But they were also a bit more boring because they forgot to, like, play up to the cameras. Mish?
I've just gone on to this website. Which couples in Big Brother history have had sex on the show? I need to know. And then people have just written underneath it, Hayley and Andrew did, but that's hardly surprising. They were already an existing couple. I believe that Susanna also confirmed oral sex with Brody and TJ that year, if that counts. But I know Marty and Jess didn't. They didn't have sex till their wedding.
Well,
Really?
that's important because they're chaste.
Yeah.
They would never. Their wedding.
They got married. Do you remember that Jess and Marty got married?
Yeah.
On the show?
Yeah.
Which one?
No,
is Jess and
no.
Marty?
Years
They were
after.
season 2.
Second and third in season 2 or something, right?
Yeah, they came. There was season 2.
I
and-
remember Marty.
Yeah.
Sorry?
He's like a farmer dude.
And
like
Jess
a
had,
good-looking
like-
young rooster farmer type.
I do remember
Sam
Marty.
And
Martin
Jess
type,
put
yeah.
fucking weird shit in her hair and wore, like, fisherman pants.
Oh, man.
Hey,
The
hey.
cat, like, furry towel, wide leg raver pants era.
Yeah.
When
Good
we
stuff.
come back from the ad break, we're going to tell Mish all about South Park, a show she's never watched. Hi, welcome back from
spoiler-
the ad break.
I hate to say this. I have watched South Park.
Yeah,
I just
as
haven't
soon
watched
as I
it
said
to
that,
the
I
extent.
knew I had fucked up.
Hey, man, it's okay.
So sorry, Mish.
It's okay. Calm down. It's all right.
Let him apologize. Let
I'm
him
so
say
sorry. Mish
It's
has
fine.
watched
Can
heaps of
accept it.
South Park.
No, I haven't watched heaps of South Park.
Mish has
Oh my
watched
God,
more
say
South Park than
sorry.
anyone.
Say sorry for getting it wrong again.
Oh, sorry, Mish. Sorry, Mish. I keep fucking this up. Oh, my God.
Accept his apology.
I accept your apology.
Okay.
Thank you, Mish.
I've watched some South Park, but I don't know the history. Please tell me.
No, well, it wasn't really the history. So last week, Mish revealed that she was not really a South Park person. And the way you were talking, you were like, and it's quite rude.
Yeah.
I thought it was like The Simpsons.
Yeah, like you.
No, I knew it was rude, but they've been made like 30 seasons and it's just 30 seasons of rude.
Yeah.
So South Park, right, is... So they did a couple of seasons and it was just very juvenile. Then they left for our season. Then they came back. I didn't watch it during that period. And then around season 10, I remember it being like, I wasn't really watching it, but people were like, so around 2007, 2008, 2009, people were like, South Park has gotten really good. Like it was this word of mouth thing amongst people in their like late teens, 20s.
Is that the like trapped in the closet era?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 seasons in, it became something really, really special. And over that time, it also, their process evolved. Did you know anything about how...
I legit studied them in my Masters of Screenwriting. Like they have but therefore is like their thing. Yeah.
They have like
a whole
incredible
ethos.
storytelling.
Yeah.
They're probably, in terms of writers, they're probably the best at, some of the best sitcom writers at storytelling. They're also like the best at like parody of story structure. Like they know film incredibly well. But on top of that, do you know about their process? Have you heard about their...
No.
Okay,
There's a documentary, isn't
yeah,
there?
there's an
I feel like I
incredible
watched a doco on
documentary.
them, yeah.
I think it's called 7 Days to Air. The way they operate and have operated for, like, I think since those days that I was talking about, is on. They take a day off when they're making the series. They take a day off. So Simpsons it's animated, so it's months, right? It's months and months and months to put together. But South Park, they kept the budget low, and because it was so popular, they essentially got to a point where there was zero restrictions. The only thing that they needed to check with were the lawyers. So they were allowed to make whatever they want, and the studio wouldn't have any say. And they do their entire episode in 7 days. So if the show goes to air on the Wednesday, they'll start on the Thursday the week, or maybe the Friday the week before, and then they'll spend 6 days. They'll writers' room
Like
it.
animated SNL.
Yeah,
but
they
not
put it
sketch.
together.
That's wild.
quickly. But because of that,
Imagine how stressful that
Yeah.
would be.
Oh my God, that makes my asshole.
Does it make you feel sick?
It makes me feel physically ill.
do you know what? I kind of like it because you're not like labouring.
don't
you're
get
not
me wrong.
You're not.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And like I think a time limit's really important on some things. But I think I just have worked on like big shows that are really like week to week and
Yeah.
it's full on.
I think my criticism of most Australian content, right? Most Australian comedy, I love it all. This isn't talking about anyone that I'm friends with or peers with. But my criticism with most Australian stuff is there's too many stakeholders that it isn't the sharp, it doesn't have the like fresh inspiration of the quick process.
Oh,
I agree with you.
100%.
Versus, there's just one other point, versus not enough money to have the considered perfection wrung out of it that the best of Simpsons has. Simpsons was months of writing. South Park is a week of writing.
By
The worst
people
of
who were very
Australia.
good.
Yeah, the worst of Australia is it's like a
think-
little bit in the middle.
I would kill for as like going back to like a weekly sketch show in Australia because I feel like that would be the thing where like you could take characters people were really into and do them the next week and you could like that's how you would pick
But-
your runners and like
Don't you reckon, though, if we had the opportunity to do that in this country, it wouldn't be what we want anyway because there's no trust? To me, what you're saying is what's really cool is there's trust in these two amazing
Yeah.
writers. Obviously, they've created 30 seasons, but in other countries, there's trust that they give the money to the people to create something good. Whereas my opinion is that in a lot of comedy that's produced for TV in Australia is, like you said, there's so many stakeholders. It's that there's so many people that need to be pleased by the end of this. We need to cover all of those bases, which is incredibly stressful. And in doing that, we have to go back to the same format that we've always used.
But I think what I'm saying is if you then had another 2 months, you could do the Simpsons thing. So the Simpsons thing, they're famous for they would sit in a room, they'd have the script, they'd beat out the story, the person would go out and write it, then they would bring it in and they would have joke runs where the writer's room would sit in a circle and go through line by line and go, is this the funniest joke? Is this the funniest joke? Is that reference the funniest reference? And they would spend like massively long days sitting there and they would sit and think for maybe like often like like 20 minutes just for one joke, hours just for one joke. That's one way to do a show.
Absolutely.
But then the South Park way is awesome as well because it's just like they don't overthink it.
Yeah, I think to some
I like
extent
that.
as well, the South Park thing was so successful and felt so exciting because the internet was starting to change everything as well. Like, I think it was timing. I think they were making stuff in the way that we always made it, and there was a way we did it, and then the internet started to put pressure on us to be more referential or be more current or be more up to date with what's going on, and for them to then move to that, what is how we got response to like R. Kelly and like he was in the media, so then he was in South Park. Like we were getting a lot more like.
You're so right, and it's like it's part of the biggest problem with TV when it competes with the internet is it's so slow comparatively.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea, Mish, they had episodes like the election would happen on the Tuesday. The next Wednesday there was an episode about that election out. Like that's how cricket is, and that's where I go like.
What a fun room to be
Yeah,
in.
it's
So
cool.
much coke in that room.
No, it's all Trey Parker and Matt Stone. It's all, and I think it's Trey Parker essentially. They writers' room it, and then Trey Parker. Is it Trey or is it Matt?
Yeah, Trey, I think, yeah.
Trey just goes and writes it,
Yeah,
and
so
he just does it, and it's very like
the plotting technique that we were taught of theirs is as simple as but therefore. So they have a story, they have the premise of the show, the episode they want to do, and so they're like, Cartman starts playing World of Warcraft, but obstacle, therefore the result of that obstacle, but another obstacle, therefore, and that's how they would plot
the
every
rule
episode.
that you can
That's
never.
very cool.
That's the rule that you
Yeah.
can never have an and.
Yeah.
So it's never and, it's always but. Or
Well, I
therefore.
I wish them well because the show is good and I hope people watch it.
What I'm saying to you, Mish, is
I'm pulling for them as
Yeah.
well. I hope they do all right.
Yeah, I hope they do all right. But what
And
I'm
if they want to call me and get any advice, because I have
Yeah.
worked in TV for
Yeah.
the last 3 years.
Yeah.
If they want to call me
you
and get
kidding
some
me,
advice,
These guys are like the biggest TV writers in the world.
Yeah.
They wrote a
They're
hit
young
Broadway
upstarts.
musical.
Sorry?
Okay.
They wrote one of the most
I
successful
just don't
musicals
see them
of
in
all
like the
time.
mainstream much, you know?
Yeah,
like, I
I'm
feel
just-
like they're
By
sort of in
choice.
obscurity.
What the fuck are you guys talking
Zach, what I'm
about?
saying is that I've worked in television
Yeah.
for 3 years. And within that 3 years, 9 months.
Yeah.
I've had 9 months experience.
Yeah.
They've
And
been
I'm
making South
currently-
Park nearly as long as we've been alive,
And I'm, like,
man.
currently-
And if they
not
want some
employed.
advice on how to take it to the next level,
Yes.
they can call me.
Yeah.
Really?
And I'll help them.
You honestly think you've
I
got
just
that?
think Mish has like, and like,
Do you doubt that I don't have good advice about television?
For Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
I think I could give them some good advice.
What
do they know
advice?
about what it's like to be a woman? Drop the mic.
But do they know what it's like to... I don't know, Zach, there's little things that you need to consider. Like, do they know what standby means?
Yeah.
If someone says standby to you
yeah.
on set,
Yeah.
do you know what that...
And
do they
I'm
know
just
what that
wondering
means?
if they know what traveling means, or like I'm 10-1 or 10-2.
Yeah, exactly. Behind.
Yeah,
That's a
backs,
big one.
Backs, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually
They've
hospitality.
worked
Yeah,
on live action sets. They've worked
Yeah.
on
Right.
live action
Yeah.
sets.
Well, I mean,
Order up. Do they know what order up means?
Maybe, but also it's
it's
American.
going
They
to be a
might have
20-minute
different
wait.
systems.
Do they know what that means?
No, I guess why I'm saying all
Ivanhoe
this.
Medical Clinic, Mish speaking. Do they know what that means?
All I'm saying
Ivanhoe
is,
Medical Clinic.
all right, aftercare, we're going to need
just-
to sit down and put our listening ears on. Do they know about that?
Do they
That's
know
what I
about
wanna
that?
Guys, are you like now making in-jokes about specific jobs that you two did?
Yeah.
Because you know if you're alienating Zach and Tom, it's probably not a good sign.
I think we took people on that journey.
Hey, I think it is time to play.
Well, I just want to say one thing about South Park, Mish. What I'm telling you is you're a comedy writer. Season 9, 10, and 11, around that era, seasons sort of 8 through 15, 16, like, is some of the best comedy writing of all time.
Fuck
Like,
yeah.
there's no overstatement there. Go
9, 10,
get
and
yourself a Paramount Plus, have a treat, because the World of Warcraft episode is something else.
It's so
I
good.
recently did get Paramount Plus because we had to watch Santiago.
So
of the
while
Seas.
you're on Paramount Plus, go watch those seasons. That era,
Yeah.
like, is insane. And you can check with me what's good.
Yeah, cool.
And then maybe next time you're at the Melbourne show, you'll finally get that South Park show back.
Fingers crossed. But also, what's really great is because I work in TV. Come August, I'm completely and utterly unemployed,
Yes.
so I'll have heaps of time to watch South
Oh, Mish,
Park.
I have something to tell you. It's pretty dark and scary on this side.
Okay, see you there.
It's come join me.
Okay.
Because guess who's rewatching the Mindy Project?
All right, let's play a quick game of what's something cool you...
Before you do, can I just check? You were joking before, right?
Zach, I was making jokes.
Because, like, Trey Parker and Matt Stone don't need our advice.
Well, I think it's unfair to suggest that just because they're famous,
No,
Yeah,
no.
like who's to say that we don't have something
that
to
I don't have
offer?
something to say that they don't
Yeah,
know.
like
Okay.
Like,
I just wanted to check.
all I'm saying is that last week,
I'm just saying at some point
Because
we
they've
become
worked with
people's-
women, right?
Zach-
They've
No,
worked
I'm
with
just
women
saying,
that are
Zach,
more
at some point, like
experienced.
you go from like learning from them, like I did, to peer level. Like at some point, you have to cross the threshold. Like
all I'm saying is that, Zach, last week I worked with Janine Alice. Have they?
From Boost
From
Juice.
Boost Juice. I'm asking you,
No.
do you think...
And all I'm saying, Zach, is that one of my first jobs was for Janine Alice
at Boost
At
Juice?
at Boost Juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know what Janine Alice has got to do with it.
Well,
Well,
that's the thing.
that's
You
the
haven't
thing.
asked for any advice
Yeah.
on her. If
Maybe
you wanted
she's
advice
topical.
on Janine, I could give you some advice.
You know
Give me
she's
some-
written books.
Yeah.
Can you give me some advice on Janine
Yeah,
Alice?
she's quite nice. You just say
Seems
hello.
nice,
Yeah.
Seems like she got to go
Yeah.
on.
Open to answering a lot of questions, very smiley. I didn't have a lot to do with it. It was just in passing. I'm not allowed to speak to the
I'm
talent.
always very
Hires cool
impressed.
people,
Very
in their
impressed whenever I meet like CEO people with how unflappable they are.
That is really her whole thing.
That's their whole thing. They have shareholders
yeah.
to deal
If she
with.
did a Melbourne International Comedy Festival show, it would be titled Unflappable.
And it would maybe be about menopause.
And then like, and then she'd get a DM from a Kiwi bird going, "Hey man, I'm so sorry. I was gonna call my show that."
Yeah.
All right, let's play What's Something Cool You Watched This Week. Hit it.
Mish,
What's something cool that you watched this week with Mish, Zach, and Tom, and Lena's here this week? I've got a good one.
I'm gonna go to my Letterboxd to see what I watched this week.
forgot about.
You're welcome
this part of the
You're
pod.
welcome to talk about the movie.
I
Lena,
really don't
just so
watch
you know, for guests, it's what's something cool you've watched since the last time you were on here.
Which has been a while. I'm just trying to. I mean, I know what I'm going to talk about now.
Okay, you
Great.
go, Mish.
I watched, arguably,
Pornos.
That was it. Got you, and that's the kind of stuff that you got to keep your
That's
brain.
the stuff I could tell Matt Parker and Trace done.
egg on your face, because I didn't watch pornos this week.
Really?
Yeah, not one, not
You didn't
once.
watch a single porno
No.
this week?
Not
Not a
even
s-
plural.
Not even a clip.
Not one porno.
Not one porno.
Did you
Not
watch
even
a porno
one
this week,
boob.
Lena?
Did you watch a porno?
this week?
No,
Really?
no.
Tom?
No, I don't think so. No.
Did you watch your pornos this week, Zach?
Guilty.
Considering how absolutely disgusted you were that
Yeah.
I hadn't, I'm guessing.
I did do the math. Not this week.
Yeah, that's what. No, I didn't do this week.
Yeah.
Ask me about last week.
Did you watch a pornos last week?
I can't remember. Maybe. but this
She
week I certainly did not.
She did, but she didn't want to say it on the pod.
No, but this is, speaking of pornos,
Okay.
this is arguably my favourite, and I have a thing for 90s sexy thrillers. I watched my favourite. I have not watched it in years and years and years and years and years. I have been trying to find it for years and years and years and years and years, and it fell into my lap, be it legally or illegally. Someone sent me this, and I watched it, and it is so good. If you like all the yumminess of a sexy 90s thriller, 1993. Wow. It's perfect. It's called Blink. It stars Madeline Stowe, who is, of course, iconic for 90s thrillers. So good. She's from Bad Girls, from China Moon. She's from Revenge, which is a Johnny Legs sexy thriller. She's amazing. And Aidan Quinn, who plays the cop.
Who's Aidan Quinn?
He's from Practical Magic. He's the guy that she sent for, you know. Yeah, and he's fucking phenomenal. And a very young Laurie Metcalf. Like working actor Laurie
I'm
Metcalf.
trying to remember who that is.
Roseanne's
Roseanne.
sister. She's in Lady Bird.
Oh,
Scream
I
Scream
love
2.
her.
Love her.
Yes.
And Blink is about a woman who is blind from the age of 6. She is made blind. And then someone gives her an eye transplant and she's able to see for the first time. But the eye transplant it takes time to settle, and she sees things sometimes 24 hours after they're in front of her. And maybe there was a murder.
But that's not blinking.
Wait,
That's
what
got
did
nothing
she
to do
see?
with
She
blink.
sees
But
it-
maybe she sees a murder.
So she sees it 25.
She's the
24
only
hours
witness.
after.
She's the only witness to a murder, and everything's a
Because
bit
of the
fuzzy.
eyes.
Yeah,
But what happened? She sees it 24
Wait,
hours
question.
later.
yeah. She sees the face clearly
Was
24
the
hours
eyes
later.
from
in
the
her head.
murder victim?
No,
Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense.
no, I know it's crazy, isn't it?
That's the most.
If the eyeballs
complicated-
came from the
I can't
victim, I'd
explain
be
to
on
you.
board.
I can't think of a movie where the guy, so he plays the douchebag cop that literally eats donuts and sits there and flaps newspapers and stuff, like that guy. He's a cunt. Like, he is the worst bloke ever. Like, you just would not be attracted to this man. And Aidan Quinn does it beautifully, right? And he's awful to her. He's like, you're not a trustworthy. He used to say, you're not the fucking murderer. I can't trust you with your blurry vision and your bullshit.
Oh.
And then he sees her and she literally turns around. She goes, fuck you, detective, or something. And he just all of a sudden his eyes just go, she's kind of hot.
Yeah.
And he literally just kind of walks over to her after calling her all these little horrible things and goes, there's something about you. And then they fuck. They fuck.
Sometimes you just have to
Yell at a woman.
neg them
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And then when the men get spoken to with like a man speaks to them.
Yeah,
they're
full
like,
on, man.
I want to do it.
Highly recommend. If you can get a hold of Blink,
Yeah.
it is the best sexy thriller.
Mish,
Really?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? When you say 24 hours before
Yeah.
it becomes not blurry, so does that mean her eyes get less blurry after 24 hours?
The way they explain it in the movie, you know when you've been in a dark room and someone turns on all the lights and it goes all
Yeah.
fuzzy? They're like, well, yeah, and it kind of takes a minute for it to adjust. She's been like that for 30 years. So imagine how long it's going to take for her to adjust to the new lights.
Mish.
Yeah.
She sees the
When
murder.
does she see the
Yeah,
Wait,
no, the
wait.
murderer, not the murder.
She sees the murderer, but the murderer,
murder?
Murder.
the murderer, she sees him blurry. She sees them blurry. Misha
What's
needs
that
to
from?
understand.
I can't remember.
I brought you frankincense. I
it's,
brought you myrrh.
it's a meme.
Murder.
Meme. It's like a vine.
It's really funny.
Yeah. It's what is it? It's a vocal tick. It's just one of those.
Judas.
Judas. Zach, I believe the question you're asking is what the fuck, Mish?
Can I ask this question, please?
Please.
Because the way you said it initially,
Yeah.
I thought initially what I thought you said was that the bit between her eye and her brain, which normally takes microseconds, took 20.
Yes. So she's just kind of a bit blurry. She's like, I saw a murderer. And they're like, no, you didn't.
They're like, "No, this is what I thought you were saying. Lady, you were just standing in front of a murderer. And she was like, oh no. Well, that vision won't hit my eye. No, not partial vision. That vision of the murderer won't hit my eye for 24 hours. Won't hit my brain.
No, that's not what happened. Don't. I can't cry at this one.
Complicated thing I've ever heard in my life.
so very
basically,
impractical.
Her eyes are all blurry. The light is adjusting always, all the time, right? So she sees this guy who's the murderer.
When does she see full vision?
So this is what I'm trying to explain. She opens up her door one night for her apartment, and a guy's coming down the stairs, but she can't see him. He's all wavy and blurry, and the light's all funny. And she goes, hello? And he goes, go back to bed. And she goes, okay. And so whatever. And then they find out that the woman upstairs was murdered, right? And then she was just like, well, yeah, there was a guy around. He had a smell. I know smells well because I've been blind my whole life.
So why is it called Blink?
Because it's relating to eyes.
Smell.
Because it's relating to eyes. The whole thing. Yeah.
Would you watch a thriller called Smell?
I'd give it a go.
Lena?
Anyway, we have to wrap this up. What article you watched this
I'm
week?
just going to explain one more
Mish,
thing.
and what? Because sorry,
I'm trying, Tom.
Mish. No, but she's not said things because if that's what she witnessed, she's not a good witness.
No, and that's the whole point. She's not a good witness, but she's the only witness.
So get other evidence.
They're trying, but it's hard. He cleans up so good because he's scared of blood.
Now, the other thing is my second version that I thought you were saying was that she sees him blurry and only 24 hours later does the vision of him clear.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
What?
so then she'll open her door 24 hours later and all of a sudden she can see very clearly the man there and then she goes, whoa! And then he goes away.
So
But
then
she's-
it flashes back up.
So then
in
she's like,
full
oh, now I know
vision.
his face. But then she's also playing the violin in a pub and she looks out to the crowd and she's like blurry. But then all of a sudden a guy becomes really clear and it's the murderer. But it's not. She's now seeing the murderer's face in other people.
So she's hallucinating.
yes.
So she saw him blurry.
Yes.
But
How
the
does she-
memory clears up over 24 hours.
Yes.
Like that's just her making stuff up.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
there's no way to prove
It's
that
a
isn't an
movie, for
imagination.
fuck's sake.
I know, but it just sounds like maybe they should have. I think if they've gone with her eyes were the victims and she now knows about the murder, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Call me Matt Parker, Trey Parker.
Watch the movie. It's a really good one. It's a really, really good one.
horny.
Yeah, it is really
What?
good. What? You made the weirdest eye contact.
No,
Yes, you did. You went like this.
What?
Zach, you went.
No! I will not have aspersion. You have talked about horny movies and horny books for 4 years. You specifically said this movie was horny.
It is horny. It is horny.
Well, it sounds horny. And then what?
No, wait. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying. Hold on. I was just taking you. I thought that you were going to say, yeah, sounds good. I didn't expect you to just go, yeah, nah, probably will because that sounds horny. And then you held my eye contact.
What do you think, Tom?
Staying out of it.
So I'm staying out of it because Mish tried to get him cancelled last time. What do you think, Lena?
I didn't see the look because I saw the back of Zach's head,
Yeah.
but I believe women.
No! Don't weaponize that language. That's not funny.
I don't know what it is about coming here that I just start doing feminist gear. I'm not like this. If anything, I'm a pick-me on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm
I'd like to meet Pick Me, Lena.
Oh my god, no, yeah.
Next
she's
time we
sick.
invite
She's
you
great.
along, can you just be?
I'll just
well,
be Pick Me
we're
Lena.
about to record a Leguizamo-rama. You can be a pick
I'll
me
be
for
Pick
that.
Me Lena the whole
So
time.
can I just ask, did you get anything weird from my sounds horny?
I didn't get anything weird. It wasn't a weird reaction.
I just felt like it was Zach trying to move things along, but also choosing maybe the worst thing to end on.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
fair.
I think that's sort of like
I'd like to state now, you weren't weird. I'm sorry if I made you feel like I was feeling weird.
Yeah.
It was just I didn't expect
don't
you to
say
end
sorry.
it.
Now they'll say I gaslit you into it.
It's sort of like talking like about like the movie Stand By Me, and like we've had this big conversation about it, and then you're going, well, sounds like a child dies, and then
That's what it is.
it was like, oh, okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not, Lena. It's like saying...
Yeah, it
it's
sounds like River
saying-
Phoenix's career ended way too soon.
It's like... No. No, what it is like saying... It's like if Mish said, well, you guys know how much I love movies about kids dying. I always watch movies about kids dying. And my favourite movie about kids dying has got to be this one from the 80s called Stand By Me.
Yeah.
And I watched it. And let me tell you all about the plot. And there's this bit where the kid dies. And I love movies about kids dying. And she's always banging on about kids dying movies. Then at the end I go, oh, well, it sounds good. It sounds like the kid dies at the end. And then she goes, what?
Please stop.
What?
Okay. I deeply apologise. I didn't think it was... I just didn't expect you to say the word horny when you did. What's something cool you watched this week, Zach?
What's something cool you watched, Lena?
I mean, my favourite show of all time at the moment, I mean, again, on my third rewatch of it is The Pit, but
I haven't watched The Pit
I'm
yet.
worried.
Geraldine Hickey was in a few weeks back, and Geraldine said The Pit was there.
Okay, well, I watched it before Geraldine probably, so I assume.
No, I'm just saying that it's popular.
It is. It's big chats. When it was coming out, it was like it was one of the first times I felt that week to week thing again. It was also because at Comedy Festival, and it was like you were seeing people out and you're able to talk about it. But I have a Dr. Robbie t-shirt, care of my friend Nicolette now, because we're like super fans. But I think for me, it's like, you know, I did study screenwriting, and I think I've done this rant at Mish about 6 times, and I think you've probably heard it as well. So Tom, it basically, the thing I love about it, from a screenwriting point of view, is that I think the pilot is one of the most effective and good pilots I've ever seen of a show. It distills all of the characters down to their most, like, you see their masks, which is like the screenwriting term for like the sort of bravado that then gets stripped away throughout the series. But the way you meet them, you know what they're about within 2 lines. It moves along really quickly. Everyone's set up really clearly. It gives a really good, sets the tone of what the entire show's like. And I don't like medical dramas. I get real squeamish, but they show you something really horrible within the first like 3 minutes, and you're like, I'm a doctor now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I'm exposed to that thing, and I think the thing I love most about it is it's not House, which is like Sherlock Holmesy. It's like real medicine. We're seeing intubating happening. We're seeing the same sort of stuff. And I like personal history, but I've spent a lot of time in ERs, specifically busy ones on like weekends and stuff. And my experience in those was like I would walk around and like be like, I hope that all of those ambulance drivers are young and beautiful and fucking each other. And then like I just like making up stories in my head. There's like this hot Venezuelan attending from like, you know, and so I did, it kind of scratched that itch for me. But Noah Wyle is a king among kings.
Yeah. Wally. I'm so excited that he's getting his...
It's his time.
yeah.
It is. And there's just like a couple of characters. One character who I just, Dr.
Which
King.
one?
She is played by Bryan Cranston's daughter.
Wow.
But she, her name is Mel King, and I got 7 episodes in, and I was talking to Nicolette about her, and I was like, I just, you know, similar trauma, like her mum passed away, and there's all these things, and she's like so relatable, and it's just so nice to see like such a representation of a woman on screen that's sort of just like, yeah, that's what women are like. And then Nicolette was like, yeah, you know, spectrum acting's really good, and I was like, this one. And I sent her like 5 pictures of Dr. King, and she was like, yes, Lena, she's on the spectrum.
Yeah. I also didn't realise that was Bryan Cranston's daughter.
Yeah, no, when you'll see it when you
Have
see
you been
it.
watching it?
I watched the first 3 episodes, and the only reason I stopped was because I knew I wanted to binge, and I didn't have the time at the time.
It's a hard one
And
to
that's
binge.
on HBO Max now, so
We have that.
it's supposed to binge.
You can't binge it.
Oh yeah, you
would've
can't
been on
binge
binge.
it.
Yeah, but I also binged it, and I was like dehydrated the next day.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I just want to be clear. I'm not saying that like that character being neurodivergent is bad. It just reflected back some stuff in me that was like maybe new, but it was She turns out she has ADHD. The actor.
Yeah.
And so there's
An actor with ADHD.
I know, it's like crazy.
Wild.
It's like revolutionary. But yeah, no, I love it. I love it for so many reasons. And they really do go places that are very like it's one of the first times I've watched like a hardcore drama.
It's pacey as
yeah,
well.
and
like,
it's so and it covers there's like I don't want to wreck it, but there's like one storyline that it was like a 3-scene storyline that it was just so beautifully done.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh yeah, storytelling can just it can hit, and it's like with big issues, but it's told so well.
And what I think's really cool about it is it's all set in this emergency department, right? So it is only 3 scenes. You only get little snippets of these stories, and they never really follow through on them. But like you'd be like, oh my God, but I want to know where they've gone and what they've done. It's like, no, they've moved on. They're out of there, and now you get your new ones.
That's cool.
it only exists in the emergency room.
Is it horny?
No, but a kid died. No.
But a kid died.
That was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh, well.
What's something cool you watched this week, Zach?
Nothing horny. Sorry, Mish.
Damn.
No, do you know what I watched, which was fun? I watched Pretty in Pink.
Oh, that is fun.
I have a very strong opinion on that movie.
Molly
But I'll
Ringwald.
wait.
I'd never seen Pretty in Pink. My favourite part of Pretty in Pink, it tells a story. She has to sew her own clothes because her dad is
And she's quirky.
her dad's a guy from Paris, Texas.
Such a good movie.
And
She has to sew her clothes because her dad's the guy from Paris, Texas.
It's true.
and she's sewing and everything, and it's very funny because it's the same. I know that plot as a subplot of Not Another Teen Movie because I've never seen. But my favourite part, and my one thing, I'll keep it quick. My one thing about that movie is my favourite part is at the end of the movie, she gets given a nice dress, or throughout the plot, she gets given a nice dress by
Oh my
a
God,
lady.
I think we have the same opinion. I'm very excited. Yeah.
She gets given a nice dress by this lady who's like, hey, I got a nice dress. It's a little bit outdated, but it should be nice enough. Then her dad saves up and he's like, I got a nice dress. It should be
Oh my
all
God,
right.
I'm so excited.
And then you're like, wow. And then she makes a very mediocre dress.
She ruins 2 perfectly good dresses and makes one butt ugly sack.
It's like fine. It's like what?
Like at any point, choosing either of those dresses would have been better than her little potato sack.
It's not hard to just be like, Dad, I love it. I've got this other this nice lady gave me this other dress. I'm going to wear this to the next wedding, the next event we have.
Yes.
I love this dress. I'm just going to wear this other one. You have to be like, I feel bad because I got 2 dresses from 2 people I love. So I better piss them both off equally.
But there's literally this scene where it's like she's looking at the different layers and then she just like takes the material from one of the dresses and makes an ugly dress.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me.
It is so funny.
And then I said that in a review on Letterboxd, and then someone in the comments was like, I just want you, because I was like, is this just an 80s fashion thing? And someone in a review was like, I was working in a cinema when that came out. And we all thought the same thing. So it's not just an 80s thing.
No, it's just an objectively ugly dress. Yeah.
Yeah, fun movie though. I thought
Great
it was fun.
movie.
What are we watching for Leguizamo Rama this week?
I did spoil it last week,
Yeah.
sorry. But you can all watch along. We are watching a 4-hour playthrough of Rayman 3.
Hoodlum Havoc.
Yep.
Which you can find on YouTube. There's a couple of them on there, by the way.
Yeah,
Bunch
pick
of people.
your favourite speedrunner.
100%, and then it's all yours. Lena, where can people find you? Should they wish to find you, which they should?
So I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/Lena Moon. I play games and we watch people make really awful perpetual stews on there at the moment. That's something we...
perpetual stew.
Oh, we'll talk. Perpetual stew is like, they exist. There are these amazing soups that have been boiling for 40 years or whatever. And when done right, they're really cool and like, it's like a good thing.
Like a real stew?
Like a real stew. There are people who
like
are doing
pho.
it on...
Pho is that.
Yeah,
Pho never goes
when
to the
done
bottom.
right, if it's kept at a simmer, it's actually food safe. But the ones that we're watching are people making it in crock pots that barely make a simmer. So they end up making hot compost and then eating it. And boy, oh boy, have we've
Whoa.
really truly watching some really heinous food stuff happening. Anyway, that's what I do on Twitch. And then my Instagram is Lena Moon. Lena I Moon. But when is this coming out before replay?
Next week.
Okay, I have a show
Yeah.
at Comedy Republic Replay Festival on the 17th of July. I'm doing my stand-up show from Comedy Festival called RuPaul's Drag Race. No, Rube Goldberg
Congrats,
Machine.
it's been blowing
And
up
you
over
should-
the last decade.
Yeah.
You got to go to Rube Goldberg Machine. It was Lena's first ever solo show. It's sold out.
It did.
It is so good. It is so well written. I think it's a perfect little, like, it encapsulates all of you so beautifully, and I think everyone should go and see
Yes,
it.
please.
You will miss out if you don't. It's sold out for Comedy Festival. So don't be a sausage.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it again. So
Unless you are a sausage.
It's one night only, and
Yeah, all right. If you're a
unless you're-
sausage, if you're an actual sausage.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, then come along.
Yeah.
You still have to
get a
book
whole,
a ticket.
you still get the whole human seat to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a very comfortable
Yeah,
seat for a
it's like
sausage.
it's like a
pretty
toddler
good.
on a plane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well, no, it's like a sausage.
Yeah.
It's even smaller than a
Fuck,
toddler.
you're right.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks for
today,
having me.
Lena. Such a joy. We will see you on Thursday for Leguizamo Rama if you're into that. If not, we will see you on Tuesday next week for the Mish and Zach podcast. Thank you so much and see you later. Bye.
The Mish and Zach podcast is recorded on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We believe that our collective culture will never reach its full potential until we embrace the history and the truth of the oldest cultures of this land.